Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric, and I got a really fun bonus episode of Dreamcast Dreamland for you guys this Friday, because I thought I was 100% finished with this series. It was uploaded, I was on to the next thing, but just like at the beginning when Castlevania Resurrection was finally released, Dee Dee Planet, a lost game for the Dreamcast, is now out and able to play, so of course I'm going to talk about it on a little bit of a bonus episode, and it's absolutely amazing that we now have this game, and big thanks to the people that released them. I'll leave a link to the Twitter handle of the person that made this happen below so you can find out who they are. But Dreamcast has been getting leaked and released beta games for a while now, all the Atomic Wave stuff, Castlevania Resurrection, and now we have Dee Dee Planet. I feel like by the time I'm actually done with this series, as far as them premiering, I'll probably have to make another video of another released game that we never found. But it's absolutely amazing to be able to play something like this, so right before we get into it, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, get notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down there as well. But I remember previews for Dee Dee Planet back when Dreamcast magazines and gaming magazines in general were a huge thing, and it looked really fun. This was supposed to be the second game in the online series right after Choo Choo Rocket, and I remember Choo Choo Rocket, I still own it, and it's still absolutely fun to play. Dee Dee Planet is going to be instantaneously recognizable if you've been playing games for any length of time. This is basically Scorched Earth or Worms, except done with a Sega twist to it. And you'll see here we selected Game Mode A, and this is more of like a campaign mode, for lack of a better term. We're playing against one CPU player. They'll select their Dee Dee, and I'll select my Dee Dee, or maybe they're just D's, and the plural is Dee Dees. Who knows how that actually works. But you'll immediately see this is just Worms or Scorched Earth, which is not a bad thing because those games are incredibly fun. And the entire reason this game existed was it was supposed to be an online game that you could play over the Dreamcast network. And the story is that at the last minute, this was canceled because there was some sort of server-side issue with Sega that was affecting the game actually connecting online. And since this was predominantly meant to be a Dreamcast online game, unfortunately, that's the reason it was canceled. Now, I highly suspect that somebody much smarter than me, or maybe you listening, will be able to figure out the netcode on this game and get us playing online. And maybe in 2021 or 2022, you can play Dee Dee Planet against friends across the world or the country. That would be absolutely amazing. Right now I'm just playing against the CPU because I have nobody to play with today, but this is a lot of fun as a two-player game as well. I had my wife sit next to me and play it, and we had an absolute great time because we played Worms before together, and it's just an amazing party game. You'll see here we get this little menu. It auto-selects it for you, but there's different zones within the game. First we were in Liquid Zone, now we're moving to Gel Zone. So just like something like Worms, you're going to get different environments. They all seem to be procedurally generated, so you're never going to get two things at the same time, which is always fun when you're playing with friends. You don't feel like it's getting too stale. The music in this game is great. The graphics are simple, just like Choo Choo Rocket were, but it really works for the game. I mean, as far as strategy is concerned, all you need to do is wait for your missile to recharge. You can aim left and right, up and down, and you can change the power of your shot as well. So it's infinitely easy to understand what you're supposed to do in this game, but it becomes infinitely hard when you have 4 players on screen at once, all shooting rockets, and you're trying to move left and right to avoid incoming hits while also sending out outgoing rockets to destroy your opponent. It gets really wild with 4 players, and I love that. It's just that complete madness that you are sitting there yelling at your TV, yelling at your friends when you get hit or when you hit them. And you'll see we finally got through this round, so we're moving on to the next zone. What I want to let you do is listen to a little bit of the soundtrack because it is really good and unique. I absolutely love it, and it just sounds like really ethereal. There is one part of the game which I know is going to get a copyright strike, so unfortunately I can't show that to you guys, but I will upload a long play tomorrow with the rest of the gameplay so you can just check it out without me talking. But enjoy the soundtrack for a second and I will be right back. And oh man, that shot almost hit. I just absolutely love the soundtrack in this game, the graphics, everything is all just making a package that is absolutely outstanding, even if it is so simple. It obviously feels a lot like Choo Choo Rocket or something like Rez without the wireframing, or even Cosmic Smash. It's one of those games which is very simple, but it's so unique and so intriguing after you actually get a hold of it and start playing. And we're doing a 3-round game here, and you can change your Dee Dee or D in between each round, and randomly we got D99, which is a sheep, and you will quickly see that that sheep is going to be floating in midair. It's actually a flying character. I'm not sure if that's a rare pick or not. I haven't played the game long enough to be able to tell, or I don't even know if you can really unlock anything in this game. There's definitely a save function, and I'll show you mode B in a little bit where you can actually buy power-ups in between matches. But I think there's more to this game than I've even encountered, because no one's really played this game that much because it's only been out for about 5 days at this point in time. But I can't be excited enough about getting another Lost Dreamcast game. I can't believe we've gotten so much stuff for the Dreamcast this year, and it's only June. Being able to play Castlevania Resurrection was amazing, and now getting something like Dee Dee Planet, these aren't the type of things you expect. And I still have about 8 more weeks to go with my Dreamcast series, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to have to make a video talking about another beta release that we've never seen before. I genuinely hope I do, because that means there'd be something new to play, but we'll see what happens. But a huge thanks to the people that were involved in getting this release. It's always amazing when we get a game that we thought was lost and we're able to play it, because this would have been a ton of fun had Sega released, and it's a bummer that that netcode issue apparently shelved this game. I can totally understand why. If online play wasn't working or there was a bug, it's really hard to release a game intended specifically for network play. But it is still a bummer that this was canceled. I don't know if Sega had any more plans for any other online network games, but that's kind of just probably how it was back then, because online gaming wasn't a huge thing. It existed in bits and pieces, but back in 99, 2000, getting online and playing a game wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It was kind of the advent of online multiplayer outside of LAN parties or dial-up internet for old first-person shooters, and even back then, it was a giant pain. But you'll see here this black sheep has fallen down. The levels will start doing weird things. You'll see these spaceships with aliens. They drop a black sheep down, and then that black sheep gets brought back into the UFO. I don't know what's supposed to be happening there. I wasn't able to hit the sheep. But if you do take too long, you're going to have that cloud come down and hit you with a lightning bolt. So the game is definitely stressing you a little bit to try to beat your opponent as quickly as possible. That way you don't take damage yourself. I will say the CPU opponent is not very smart. He's pretty much a massive idiot. So you definitely want to play this game with friends if you can. But moving on to Mode B, or Game B, it's the exact same gameplay, except it's a little bit different in between rounds. We'll go with 2 players here, and I'll make 1 player the CPU. It's not too hard. You can do up to 4 players if you want. But you'll see here, now all of a sudden we're getting these chests, and I just hit it, and I got 50 money. Not sure what currency they're using, probably D-coin, but what do I know? But you'll see after we're able to beat our opponent here, we're going to go into a screen and we're going to be able to spend that money on power-ups. And the more money you have, obviously, the better they get. I went with rapid shot, so you're able to fire off your missiles quicker because there is a recharge period. But there is a decent amount of power-up ability in Dee Dee Planet. But yeah, that's the game. I never thought I'd play it. I never thought I'd play Castlevania Resurrection either, but here we are having 2 amazing new games for Dreamcast this year. I will release a long play of this tomorrow so you can see it in action without me talking. But short of that, if you have any questions or comments, so leave it down below. Leave a guess at what you think the next Dreamcast leaked game is going to be, and maybe you'll be right. Short of that, we'll have videos throughout the rest of the week. Do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.